I looked at it, when I signed up, I looked at it as a scholarship.
Took advantage of that opportunity when it came available.
It's been a very fun and educational program so far.
I think it's been good. You learn a lot.
Anyone can pass this program, and the teachers and the coordinators are very willing to work with you.
Tell us about your experience with Central Jackson County, the paramedic program.
It's been a very fun and educational program so far. Really enjoying it.
I think it's been good. You learn a lot. It's challenging, it's time consuming, but it's worth it.
I took advantage of that opportunity when it came available because it fit into the schedule of the firefighter schedule, and I'm enjoying it. We're about halfway through, and we should be graduating sometime this year.
So you say you're enjoying it. Tell me a little bit more about your experience there.
Well, I've always enjoyed doing EMS. I really pride myself on being a good firefighter, but a big part of our job is EMS. So when I was given the opportunity for free education, I figured I'd take advantage of it, and I'm having a good time learning more and being more proficient and being able to provide a better medical outcome to the patients that we encounter on a daily basis.
So a positive experience for both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say so.
All of you say that. Have you enjoyed your experience here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say so.
How about the faculty and clinical coordinators there at Central Jack? Are they good to work with?
Yeah, they are. They're good to work with.
Absolutely. The clinical coordinator is very flexible and works with us on our clinical schedule. We have the opportunity to schedule our own clinicals, so we can schedule the clinicals for the month ahead of time based around our schedule, and we go to class 1 day a week, so it's very flexible. We have the same class on Tuesday and the same class on Wednesday, so depending on what shift you're on, you're able to go to that class once a week, get the didactic portion of that out of the way. And then the clinicals are scheduled also around your time. As long as you meet the requirements for your hours, they pretty much leave you alone and let you schedule those as need be.
Now you talk about clinicals. Tell me a little bit more about that process as it has to do with clinicals.
You start out with hospital clinicals, which includes, ER, ICU, OB, peds.
Operating room.
Yeah, and basically they're 12-hour shifts, and you just got a curriculum that you got to follow and different skills that you got to get done, and then after that you go onto the ambulance and get you prepared to take the National Registry.
Yeah, and those ER clinicals are very appropriate for learning paramedicine because you're seeing the emergency patients come in, and that's right up the alley of working on an ambulance or being a paramedic. And when you move to the ICU ones, the emergency is out of that setting, but you get to see some very sick patients, which is very good clinical experience.
Well, I think as far as clinicals, that's the most time-consuming part, but it's where you learn the most. Usually, out in the street, you take someone to the hospital and you drop them off and you leave. With clinicals, you get to see what happens afterwards. So
it would be comparable to learning in the fire academy and then doing your OJT. I mean, they give you the practical application in class. When you go to your clinicals, it brings it together so you understand why you do the things that you do.
Clinicals is just like OJT.
Yeah.
Because we do the lab in the academy. Well, in the class, we did all the like IVs, take the IVs. We did IVs on ourselves, but when we went to our clinicals, we was able to do them on patients, and so it was just the repetitive nature of it that gets you going.
A big part of the clinicals is the ER portion. Of course, what we're going to be dealing with is pre-hospital, so we're going to be taking our patients, picking them up, taking them to the emergency room. So 16 shifts is spent doing clinicals in the ER, and that's the first set of clinicals that you encounter. Kind of get your feet wet and do the basic medicine treatments that you need to do. And then from there, as it correlates with your didactic portion, you go ahead and sign up for your ICU shifts. Those are a little bit more boring in the sense of, pre-hospital. They're not quite as exciting maybe, but you get a lot more of your education piece there and a lot more of the intellectual portion of that, being able to have the patient for a longer period of time and see the outcome of the patient.
Yeah.
How about the faculty and clinical coordinators? How are they working?
I find it pretty easy. They seem to come from a good, varied background where their experience brings to the classroom everything we need to learn the art of being a paramedic.
Yeah, all the instructors have a lot of good experience and really take the time to help you understand what you're doing, and you know.
The clinical coordinator is very flexible and works with us on our clinical schedule. We have the opportunity to schedule our own clinicals, so we can schedule the clinicals for the month ahead of time based around our schedule, and we go to class 1 day a week, so it's very flexible. We have the same class on Tuesday and the same class on Wednesday, so depending on what shift you're on, you're able to go to that class once a week, get the didactic portion of that out of the way. And then the clinicals are scheduled also around your time. As long as you meet the requirements for your hours, they pretty much leave you alone and let you schedule those as need be.
Tell me how this program benefits you personally.
Me personally, I like to learn, and I think that it also gives me a chance to see other things too. You know, if I get an ambulance and I'm working on the ambulance or doing the ALS pumper, you know, I get to, you know, make some decisions and be confident about what I do too. So I think it helps me personally to build up character. Personally,
It's always been a goal of mine to be a paramedic. I like I said, I enjoy doing medical stuff. The opportunity arose to do this through the fire service. I enjoy being a firefighter very much, and I didn't want to give that opportunity up. So for me, I was able to go ahead and get a free education with the paramedic education and just make that part of my tool belt. So I really enjoy that. So for me, it was personal fulfillment. I'm not sure what the compensation is going to be or anything like that, but I did it for personal reasons.
Say even while we're still in it, I'm seeing some experience or some benefit in my job where I oversee a handful of paramedics in my battalion that now, as I'm getting into it, I'm being able to relate to their job and what they're going through and what they've got to deal with. And I think that makes me right now already a better manager to them, let alone being a better first responder for the city. But
yeah, and then with the ALS pumpers and the crews that we have out there, just being able to help set up to get things done faster, to provide that much more care, while we're there, whether we're on the way to the hospital. I mean, just having that knowledge, so it's not just on one person.
So would you advise other employees to do the same thing?
I would take advantage of it.
Yes, I would.
I mean, for one, the city's paying for it, so why not take advantage of something? Getting your education paid. I looked at it when I signed up. I looked at it as a scholarship. If somebody else is taking responsibility, I mean, I probably wouldn't have went through medical school if I had paid for it on my own. But if you're going to give me the opportunity to make myself better, why not take advantage of it? I mean, somebody else is going to pay the tab. I might as well, take advantage of it. Yeah,
the city paid for it, and then also, like, after you retire, if you want to do something else, I mean, you can use that paramedic license to do other things too.
Yeah.
I think it's a benefit for an individual and the department, the more that we get involved in it.
Yeah, the fire service is moving that direction across this nation, it appears, and to be a part of that, you're making yourself more valuable, which, we all like to think make us a little bit more money, but it's going to benefit everybody across the board.
I would just say that I think as far as the aptitude part of the program, I think anyone can pass this program, and the teachers and the coordinators are very willing to work with you. However, I would definitely say if you take on this program that you want to definitely block out a year or so of your time, and vacations and whatnot are going to have to be put on hold, and you're going to have to be a very good time manager.
Anything you'd like to add that we may have missed during our conversation with regard to the paramedic program?
Yeah, I will say this. If you decide to sign up for the program, the next year and a half, 2 years, don't plan anything because you're going to be. It's an evasive program. I mean, like the EMT, they cramming a bunch. Well, this is like cramming a bunch of information to the 10th power. I mean, you cramming information, you go home, you got to study, you got tests to take, you got homework, you have clinicals you have to sign up for.
And more clinicals.
Yeah, so like, as a matter of fact, tomorrow morning when I leave the station, I have to go straight to a clinical. So I got 24 hours here, and then I have to do 12 hours in the hospital. Not guaranteed if I'm gonna take a break and sit down, you know. I'm just telling you. I mean, you know, you asked me to add. Yeah, you asked me to add. I mean, that's what it is. But I mean,
Sometimes
it's very time
yeah,
consuming.
especially at the beginning of the course. It seems like they throw a lot of things at you, so you can almost be like, "Oh, what did I do? Why in the hell did I do this?"
It can get overwhelming.
I mean, really, you'd be like, "Oh, why did I sign up for?" Because I know I was like that. You know, Brad had talked about it. You would talk like, "Man, what did we do?" You know, so, but after a while, you know, it starts to settle in. So, but yeah, I mean, at first it's overwhelming. And we took the AMP class first too. So AMP was great, you know, that moved along good. It's like, yeah, we're gonna be ready for this. Then we get in that paramedic class, like, oh my God, what just happened, you know?
Yeah.
So.
You know, it's just the next year and a half to 2 years of your life. If you've got, it's hard if you got young kids and a family, but the good thing about this, you can take it at your own pace. You know, I know that the fire department, when you sign a contract, you have to have it done in that time, and that gives you plenty of time to get it done and still be able to, you know, do the family thing. And, you know, if you have a part-time job, you're probably not going to be able to work it. But, you know, it's a big commitment. It's a good education. You can use it if you want to further your education. I know that CJC's told us that they're trying to get it to where, you know, you can turn it into a bachelor's.
Appreciate you coming in and speaking with us. I appreciate your candor and conveying the information, and good luck in the future.